Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. If you've ever wondered if college women's basketball is rigged the same way men's college basketball is or professional basketball is, the answer is yes. Last night, the UConn Lady Huskies had their record winning streak of 111 games snapped by Mississippi State on the perfect date for March Madness, which the college basketball tournament is known as. With regards to Mississippi State, in the language of gematria, it sums to 111. This is the team that snapped UConn's winning streak at a record 111 games. And to understand how sports are rigged, you need to know the language of gematria, the esoteric practice that's very important to Freemasonry and Judaism. Of course, Freemasonry based in Jewish history. So Mississippi State wins 66-64, a game that went down to the wire on March 31st, 2017 in the Final Four. Look at this. They won with 66 points. They defeated the UConn Huskies, this dominant team in women's basketball. And I mean, that should just be the sign that it's all fixed there. How can any team win 111 straight games? Just doesn't happen in realistic competition. Even the best teams get beat sometimes, but not when it's scripted. You see, the thing to understand is all of UConn's 111 wins, they were all scripted wins. This is what you watch when you watch collegiate and professional sports. Sports games that are predetermined, that are scripted. So anyway, Mississippi State wins with 66 points, symbolic number. UConn Huskies 66. The acronym for their team, what's on their jerseys, MSST, sums to 71, like March Madness, and yesterday's date had 71 numerology. Biggest story out of women's college basketball in years. The UConn Lady Huskies have been dominant since the time I was in high school. That's half my life ago, you know. With regards to the score being tied 64-64 before the winning shot, March Madness also shares the gematria of 64. And March Madness also shares gematria of 46, like Connecticut. And think about how Connecticut, dominant team in March Madness. That goes for women's basketball and historically also the men's team, which is known for being very good. The team that won on the 33rd parallel, the 88th meridian, Mississippi State. It's all scripted. Later today will be the men's Final Four. I've already put out my preview for the men's tournament. I said I expected Gonzaga to go far this year. If there was ever a year they'd win it, it would be this year. I explained why there would be big representation from the Carolinas in this year's tournament. Both South Carolina and North Carolina made it. Go back and watch all the work I've done on the men's tournament. Go back and watch all the work I've done on professional sports. I called nearly every sports championship in 2015 and 16 before the seasons even started. So yesterday, March 31st, also in the world of basketball, let's look at what happened in the NBA. I knew LeBron was going to win yesterday. It was very clear that he would get his 48th win in Philadelphia, a team that's not that good. Remember, Philadelphia is the original home of the Warriors, who are now in Golden State. I want to show you what this score has to do with the Golden State Warriors. The Cavs winning 122-105. If you follow my work, you already know. But let's start with them getting win number 48 in Philadelphia. They were stuck on 47 for a while. Ohio equals 47. This is the 47th season of the Cavs. Very special number to Freemasonry. Freemasonry running the world of sports, professional and collegiate. Freemasonry running a lot more than sports, running government, media, money. Anyhow, they got win number 48. The name James has gematria of 48. The word Cleveland has gematria of 48. Donald Trump equals 48. He had his convention in Cleveland synced up with the rigged election and Inauguration Day. Go back and see my work. The word wall equals 48. Donald Trump running on building a wall. LeBron James with his own show, The Wall. Hollywood released the movie The Great Wall on February 17th, the 48th day of the year. So 48, significant to James, Cleveland, his TV show, The Wall. The number 223 is the 48th prime number. 223, the 48th prime. The name James in Satanic Gematria is 223. In the Bible, in Revelation, the 66th book, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times, and that is written in a letter to the Church of Philadelphia. Philadelphia 223, the Synagogue of Satan 223. So think about it. James gets his 48th win playing Philadelphia, you see? Big number. Philadelphia 223, the Synagogue of Satan 223, Freemasonry based in Jewish history, Masonic 223, important title in Freemasonry, Worshipful Master 223. The reflection of 223 is 322. The NBA Finals 322. See my work from 2 years ago before the Cavs and Warriors had ever played each other in the finals. I used this number to show why the NBA Finals would be the Cavs and Warriors before it even happened. They played each other 3 months and 22 days before the start of the finals. Again, Judaism, Freemasonry. You know that Jews run the NBA. They always have. Jews run the professional sports leagues. Freemasonry, Judaism, major overlap. Judaism 322. Think about David Stern, Adam Silver. Yesterday's win, it came 62 days before the start of the NBA Finals. The word Mason 62, the word Torah 62. I noticed the Warriors, originally from Philadelphia, got their 62nd win yesterday. LeBron in the win also scored 34 points on 331. 3 plus 31, 34. The word 1 equals 34. He's the chosen one. For a little new knowledge, unrelated to basketball, but related to this coding, I noticed something that I've never caught before. All secret societies are based in the ancient mystery religions, old world magic, understanding of the world. Ancient mystery religions has gematria of 322, number associated with the Masonic order, Skull and Bones. Remember, it's not about Skull and Bones. It's about secret societies and esoteric knowledge. All secret societies trace back to the ancient mystery religions, 322, also 119, like all-seeing eye. So just a little extra note there. With regards to 223 and the Cavs, in case you've never seen any of my work, I'm always talking about these numbers. On February 23rd, 2/23, the Cavs played the Knicks. Before the game played, I said, watch for the score to be 223. LeBron always gets his tributes against the Knicks. Final score 119-104. 10-4 message received. 223 total points on 2/23. Just a joke, Truth Seeker. The NBA is such an obvious joke. Go back to my work last year. I called the Lakers and Timberwolves scoring 223 points to open the season. Not this season that's going on, but last season, right after the death of Flip Saunders, who was coaching the Timberwolves, who was from Cleveland. Look at his birthday, February 23rd, 2/23. To open the season, the team that he coached, the Minnesota Timberwolves, were playing the Los Angeles Lakers. Minnesota's the original home of the Lakers. I said before the game I said, watch, 2-2-3. I bet you that's the final score. And it was. It's so predictable. These numbers are used again and again. The Minnesota and the Lakers just played this week too, and the final score was 223 total points. Probably another tribute to Flip Saunders. From Cleveland, he died before last season where Cleveland broke the city curse. He would have turned 62 this year when the Cavs scored 223 on what would have been his 62nd birthday. Now a 223 tribute 62 days before the start of the NBA Finals. Again, 223 relevant to Freemasonry and Judaism. 62, the number of the Torah, what the Jewish faith goes by. Well, most of them go by the Talmud now, but originally the Torah. So, The Cavs, they won yesterday 122-105 against Philadelphia, the original home of the Warriors. Check this out. Golden State plays in Oakland on the 122nd Meridian. Remember last year the Cavs won Game 7 in Oakland by the numbers. They became the first team to win a Game 7 on the road in the NBA championship since 1978 when the Washington Bullets beat the Seattle Supersonics. Think about Washington, D.C., Washington State. Seattle, Washington, where that Game 7 was played, is also on the 122nd Meridian. The word Freemason equals 122 in Francis Bacon gematria. Elohim, the word for God, equals 122. This is a special number. Last year, Steve Kerr returned for the Warriors on January 22nd. The Warriors scored 122 points on January 22nd. The team plays on the 122nd Meridian plus Golden State equals 122. No coincidence. San Francisco, right across the bay, also has that gematria of 122 on the 122nd Meridian. So anyway, Cavs win with 122 points. Definite tribute. I've been saying since Game 1 of this season that there's all these signs that we're going to see part 3 of the Warriors and Cavs. I still think that. I could be wrong, but we'll find out. As for the game summing to 227 points, 122 plus 105, winning by 17. Ohio's the 17th state. The championship will be in 2017, the year we're in. The Cavs were the 17th team to join the NBA. Both Steph Curry and LeBron James, born in Akron, Ohio, the 17th state. NBA equals 17. Anyway, the sum of 227 points, that's the 49th prime number. Warriors equals 49. So does Revelation. And Philadelphia gets its name from Revelation. Again, the letter written to the Church of Philadelphia in Revelation says the synagogue of Satan will rule in the end times, the false Jews. Yesterday's NBA action, what I also noticed is the Celtics won with 117, maintaining their place ahead in the standings of the Cavs. They just recently passed the Cavs. 117 is a special number to Ohio. They got their 49th win. We just talked about it. I do think LeBron will beat the Celtics in the NBA Finals. Not the NBA Finals, in the NBA playoffs. Also yesterday, I noticed the Pelicans beat the Kings 117-89. The Kings are often used as rituals to LeBron James. Again and again, I'm documenting this. Go see my work last year on how LeBron James's triple-doubles against the Kings in New York foreshadowed that he would win the NBA Finals on June 19th, which he did, the real King James's birthday. Anyway, the Kings lost with 89 to the Pelicans, 117. This is an interesting score because they're the Kings and King James equals 89. Remember, the Warriors lost with 89 points on the real King James's birthday in Game 7 of the NBA Finals last year. The Knicks also defeated LeBron's old team, 98-94. This is also from yesterday's games where LeBron beat the Philadelphia 76ers. The Knicks are often giving major tributes to LeBron. I have a feeling that LeBron's future home is in New York after he leaves Cleveland. His old team, the Heat. His next team, the Knicks, I think. 98 points like chosen one. Go back and watch how I predicted the Warriors and Cavs would be the NBA Finals 2 years ago. Had a lot to do with 98 as well. Those teams played each other 98 days before the start of the NBA Finals. It went to overtime, 98-98. The Thunder, yesterday, Russell Westbrook got his 39th triple-double of the season against the Spurs. The reason that's funny is because last year, Steph Curry got his 39th 30-point game against the Spurs. Tim Duncan was 39 years old. Spurs equals 39. 39th triple-double against the Spurs. Last year, Curry's 39th 30-point game against the Spurs. Just to understand that this is no joke, Duncan was the star player of the Spurs before. Duncan, 21. Look at the gematria of Spurs. Just like Duncan. You see this? And if you do the S exceptions, it's 39. Tim Duncan wore 21 for the Spurs. The letter that's emphasized on their uniform is U. U is the 21st letter. Notice the gematria of Spurs in regards to Saturn, the keeper of time. Do you see the overlap? Spurs, Saturn. We've seen LeBron getting these big tributes with 93 and the Spurs this year. And then also yesterday, the Warriors defeated the Rockets 107-98. They got their 62nd win 62 days before the start of the NBA Finals. LeBron's mother's first name in gematria sums to 62. Anyhow, it's interesting that the Warriors won 107-98. 107 is a lot like 17. You know, here we are, 2017. 98, we talked about how that connects with LeBron. I'm a little bit torn on who will win the NBA Finals this year. After game one, based on what I saw, I said right now I lean towards the Cavs, but we'll be able to make a better evaluation later in the year. I'm still torn on who will win between these two teams. You know, no doubt if that's the matchup, the Warriors will be the favorites with Kevin Durant. But LeBron, the Cavs, Ohio 47. It's the 47th season. The first NBA championship was won by the Philadelphia Warriors over the Chicago Stags in 1947. That also reminds me, do you remember the night of the Oakland fire, the warehouse fire? It was December 2nd, 12/2, a lot like 122 on the 122nd meridian. That night, the Cavs were playing the Bulls, and the Cavs lost to the Bulls. The Cavs were swept by the Bulls this year. The other night, when the freeway fire happened in Atlanta, the Cavs also lost to the Bulls. And I showed that the Oakland fire was a major tribute to the Chicago Great Fire. There's some ongoing greater ritual here that I still haven't fully connected. We'll touch on that in a second. Just also a little bit quick reminder, we were talking about 227 in regards to the Warriors and Revelation. On February 27th, the Warriors played the 76ers, and they beat them with 227 combined points, 119-108. Golden State Warriors equals 108, 119, the number for King James Bible, All-Seeing Eye, Star of David. 227 points on February 27th. Again, 227, the 49th prime. Just like how the Cavs against the 76ers combined for 227. Then on Pi Day, the 76ers and Warriors played again. The reason this is funny that it's Pi Day is because 227, the number we just talked about, if you divide 22 by 7, you get the number for pi. And pi in gematria, well, a lot of things stood out about this. The Warriors won with 106 in their 106-foot tall arena. Revelation's the book of prophecy and destruction. Prophecy 106, destroy 106. You know, Warriors playing their old team from Philly. But what was awesome about this is Steph Curry turned 29 on Pi Day. That's his birthday. And pi in gematria equals 29 like Ohio. You know, part of the reason I think we're going to see this Warriors-Cavs repetitive NBA Finals for the third time. Pi is 3.14. The first time the Warriors and Cavs met in the finals was the end of the 14-15 season, you know? So here's the score from 2 days ago, the 89th day of the year. The 89th day of the year, the freeway burned down in Atlanta, something none of us have seen before. If you missed my video on that, that happened 53 days after the Super Bowl, the freeway burning down, after 51. The Atlanta Falcons are hosting Super Bowl 53. I'll just show you this real quick so you can bring this all together. Atlanta Falcons. Oh, that's not what it is. Atlanta, Georgia has gematria of 85, like National Football League. It was Interstate 85 that burned down. Interstate 85 that burned down 53 days after the Super Bowl, where the Falcons lost, you know, giving up their big lead. The Falcons are going to host Super Bowl 53. right? Also that day, the Atlanta Braves were playing in their brand new baseball stadium. End of spring training. Here's what's so interesting about that. The date of the fire was the 89th day of the year. Atlanta Braves, 89. And if you write out Interstate 85 correctly, Interstate... If you write out Interstate 85 correctly, it has this gematria of 113. This is the year of the 113 World Series. I'm wondering if there's like some really sick joke here. Native Americans, Braves, smoke signals, fire. Also, with this seemingly relating to what's going on with LeBron James in basketball, basketball equals 85, Interstate 85 burning down. From the Oakland fire to the Atlanta fire was 119 days. That number for King James Bible, all-seeing eye. Remember, the Great Chicago Fire was set on purpose. It was a Masonic ritual. The fire in Oakland was set on purpose. A Masonic ritual. And again, the fire in Atlanta set on purpose, Masonic ritual. What I've been educating about for years now is how sports are synced up with these rituals in the news. To see it all together, they're all Masonic rituals. It's Freemasonry that runs all of these things. You know, this really is what's going on. Undeniable. Maybe mind-blowing, but definitely undeniable, especially if you follow my work. So anyhow, the day of this fire, the Bulls won 99-93. Flip that number 99 upside down, you got 66, if 6 was 9. LeBron lost with 93 in his 74th game of the year. We're going to get to that. I put out a video on LeBron 93 and 74 even before this happened. But look at this. Flip 99 upside down. You got 66. Bulls equals 66. LeBron 66. LeBron James 66. Last year, LeBron, the first player to go to 6 straight NBA finals since 66 when Bill Russell did it. What does 6 straight since 66 make you think of? Does it make you think of anything? It should. I mean, it should be pretty blatant. 6 straight since 66. The NBA finals 666. See my video on the sacrifice of Len Bias 213 days after his birthday for the first NBA Finals in 86. Did you know that that's the year they changed the name to the NBA Finals 86? Special number 86. Have you ever heard of the Eye of Providence? That's the all-seeing eye on your dollar bill. The famous symbol 86. The Eye of Providence is a triangle or a pyramid. Triangle 86. Pyramid 86. Anyway, Len Bias murdered 213 days after his birthday. Ritual for the Celtics. See how his murder ritual was connected to last year's Game 7. He died on the 30-year anniversary of Game 7 last year. June 19th. So anyway, Bulls swept the Cavs this year, beat them 4-0, 4 straight games. The first one connected to the Oakland fire, the last one connected to the Atlanta fire. If you go back to last year, remember how the Atlanta Hawks and the Boston Celtics were part of the riddle for the Cleveland Cavaliers and Golden State Warriors? I got videos on all this if you want to go back. The same night the Warriors' winning streak got snapped at 54 games in their arena, Oracle. Their winning streak snapped at 54 that very same night. The Cavs got their 54th win against the Atlanta Hawks. They were the doubleheaders on ESPN, those 2 games, ESPN 54. Cavs get their 54th win. Warriors get their home winning streak snapped at 54. The Warriors lost to the Celtics. The Cavs beat the Hawks. If you go back in NBA history, the decade where the Celtics went to every single championship, they only lost 1 time, and they lost to the Atlanta Hawks. And then think about what we saw in the Super Bowl. Boston, Atlanta, And remember the WWE the weekend before the Super Bowl had the wrestler from Boston beat the wrestler from Atlanta. The wrestler from Boston was 39-year-old John Cena, just like 39-year-old Tom Brady. And let's not forget that John Cena was on ESPN last year at the ESPYs telling the whole world that professional sports are no different than the WWE. You know, people thought he was just making jokes, but he's trying to tell all these brain-dead people the truth. And to not know that sports are rigged, you truly have to be brain-dead. And that is the conscious state of the average American. Brain-dead. Truly. Yeah, you can get up, you can tie your shoes, you can put some food in your face, you can, take a shower, you can take a shit, maybe you can get to work. But still, most people are brain dead. There is no thinking. There is just following what they've been programmed and trained to do. If people weren't brain dead, they would have never fallen for things like 9/11 or all these rigged sports leagues. A no talent like Tom Brady being the king of the NFL, what a joke. Tom Brady is truly a no talent. He can throw a ball as well as many men in this nation can throw. It's not hard to throw a ball like Tom Brady. Tom Brady can't run, he can't move, very unathletic. Whole thing's just a joke, mocking the goy. Something I've understood from way before Tom Brady was even in the league. I wasn't born brain dead like the average American. Seen through all this since I was a child. But let's talk more about this loss, 99-93. There's more here. LeBron James is the chosen one. God's son equals 93, crucifix 93. Losing with 93 points in his 74th game of the season. Jesus 74, cross 74, Messiah 74, gospel 74. In the game before, he lost to the Spurs with 74 points. And the Spurs have the 93 connections. LeBron hurt his back like Jesus carrying his cross. The Cavs were left stuck on 47 wins in this game against the Bulls. Christian 47, Ohio 47, Cavs 47th season, And with regards to 99, that's a big number in Illinois, where the Bulls are. 13 also connects to 99. LeBron got the huge 13 tributes, winning the NBA Finals in his 13th season last year. Remember in the finals when I said look for him to score 41, and then he scored 41 2 games in a row? Him and Kyrie Irving both scored 41. It's just a joke, you guys. So here's the game before the loss to the Bulls, 74-103. Last year, the Cavs won the championship in their 103rd game of the season. 103 is the 27th prime. LeBron scored 27 in Game 7. Nate Thurmond died 27 days later at age 74. Nate Thurmond, born in Akron, Ohio, like Steph Curry and LeBron James. Nate Thurmond, most definitely the father of LeBron James. Look at Nate Thurmond. Look at his body. Look at his hairline. Look at LeBron James. Very clearly the father of LeBron. That's why nobody knows who LeBron's father is. It's because what's going on in these leagues is they're breeding athletes like cattle. LeBron was bred like an animal used on a farm. And so are most of these athletes that you're worshiping. I'm pretty sure none of these guys get paid anything you think they get paid. I'm pretty sure all that, the money, the contracts, it's all bullshit. These people are slaves. Does LeBron James have a life? It seems like all he has time to do is play basketball, make commercials, be in movies, show up in the sitcom. He's just a tool used for entertainment to distract the minds of the masses. He's just a cattle. All these athletes are. How else could these guys all go broke when they get paid tens of millions of dollars every year? Then you read about them being broke 5 years later? Are these the dumbest people ever alive? Nobody could be that stupid. You can't make hundreds of millions of dollars and be broke. How? It's just a joke. But anyway, this big loss to the Spurs, it came 66 days before the start of the finals. LeBron 66, LeBron James 66. It was also 9 weeks and 3 days. And then adding insult to injury, the last time the Cavs had played the Spurs was 66 days earlier, or 9 weeks and 3 days earlier. Everything is scheduled perfectly. Everything's planned perfectly. There's nothing arbitrary about these sports schedules. They're all thought out. They're all scripted. Just like how they line up UConn lady basketball to lose to Mississippi State after the 111-game winning streak. Everything is a planned out script. And if you follow my work, you should understand this. It's the only way all of this is possible. It was also David Lee who injured LeBron James in this game. King James, David Lee, formerly on the Warriors. David Lee, King James. It's all symbolism. It's all symbolism. 74, huge number in the Bible. King James has a Bible named after him. So I think we covered it all, Truth Seeker. I got to do a little bit more thinking on what they're truly trying to communicate with these fire rituals and syncing them up with sports. The same day as that fire in Atlanta that just happened, the Yellow Jackets got blown out in the NIT. Yellow Jackets has this gematria of 161 like Phi, also like Georgia, you know. But anyway, with regards to the 161, if you missed my video on the fire, I only talked about its relation to the NFL because it was very clear, very easy to understand. But I did point out how the upcoming NFL season starts 161 days from the Atlanta fire, when the Atlanta will open their new football stadium. Again, all of this is part of one big interconnected web. Got to think more about the Yellow Jackets losing in the NIT and how that might be connected with the NFL season. The riddles they lay down, you know, sometimes you can identify them, but they're not always clear. I have no doubt, though, that the Yellow Jackets getting smoked in the NIT championship was connected to the Interstate collapsing that day. And again, just so you know, Interstate has the same gematria right here, 41-131, as Super Bowl. And it was a major Super Bowl ritual. Just like how in the end of 2015, I showed the Broncos would win the Super Bowl based off of a news story off of an interstate in California, which was hosting the Super Bowl later that year. Remember that story about the single car accident and the driver being ejected through his rear windshield and landing on top of the Colorado Street freeway sign? Major joke, major tribute about the rigged NFL and how the Denver Broncos were going to win the Super Bowl and Peyton Manning's exit from the NFL, as he did. So there it is, Truth Seeker. More scripted sports by the numbers. Until next time.